There's already a few reflect guides out there, so let's do something more general. Instead of going over common situations, let's figure out how to improve on our own. Do note, there are a number of network-related things that affect Airblast, but that's for another video. In order to improve yourself, you must know yourself. You have 3 ranges, based on the location and speed of the incoming projectile. The first is your reaction range. This is the range where you can react to the projectile, either by sight or sound. The second is your prediction range. This is the range where you physically cannot react to a projectile. The reason for being unable to react is due to both network conditions and your own reaction time. Therefore, the only way to reflect at this range is by airblasting before or around the same time as the enemy fires. The final range is in the middle of these two, where it's unclear whether you can react or predict. The reaction range is the longest and is typically from spam rockets and projectiles. It's also typically the easiest to get reflects with, as long as you understand the range of Airblast. If you're having trouble reflecting at this range, I encourage you to try playing on dodgeball servers. Practicing reflects in dodgeball can help you learn when to airblast based on a rocket's position. Keep track of your ping, as the range at which you should reflect rockets will change with ping. Just keep in mind that dodgeball is not the way to practice airblast for every situation. At closer ranges, you will need to predict when the enemy will fire their projectile. Dodgeball does not really give you this kind of practice. Instead, practice this range by simply playing the game. When you get into a close range encounter with a projectile class, try to put yourself into their mind. Will they fire rapidly? Will they try to be random? Will they wait for your airblast? You can pressure certain options with your positioning and with damage. Try things out, experiment, and don't be afraid of being wrong. Attitude is important. When you do get killed from a failed prediction, or by anything really, don't kick yourself over it and instead adapt for the future. As you play, you'll naturally grow better at both prediction and reaction reflects. The prediction and reaction ranges will change based on ping, network, and the speed of the projectile. You can keep track of these things, but you can't really change them on your own aside from lowering interp and playing on low ping servers. It's also important to keep track of that hidden third range, where it's unclear whether you have to predict or react. The unclear range is something you will want to both shrink and avoid. This is something you will naturally improve upon as you play, but it's important to keep in mind. Shrink the range by noticing when you're not feeling comfortable reflecting. Then, quickly decide if you want to reflect or predict. Avoid the range by noticing when you're feeling uncomfortable, and moving closer to or further from your target. Push your limits and don't be afraid of failing. See how far your reactions can take you. And remember that it is much more difficult to react at higher pings. Knowing your own limits is an important part of battle. If you have a good understanding of your own abilities, you'll be able to make better positioning and deathmatching decisions. Perhaps some of you are frustrated that what I'm saying basically boils down to practice makes perfect. But that's what the reality is. If there is demand, I can certainly go over more detailed, specific situations with reflects. That said, I encourage you to research and learn on your own as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and comment and share and stuff.